Good afternoon, everyone. We are at Dragon Con. I have John Goodwin from Galaxy Press up next to me. We're going to do a little interview, so y'all might have to strain a little bit because it is busy here and noisy. If y'all have never been to Dragon Con, it is a lot of fun. And even though it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of work. Even if you're here not working, it's still a lot of work. There's 5 hotels and the convention center, along with a whole host of other stuff to come see. We are in the exhibitors part of the hotel room.
Well, this one here is the America's Mart 2, which is in downtown Atlanta.
So this is John Goodwin. Y'all should know John from the network. He's got a show on the network, and him and I have done many shows together. So they're here working for Galaxy Press. As you can see, Ron Hubbard right in the picture behind us, and we'll talk about that in a second. So far, having fun, working your ass off before I like it.
This is one of my favorite shows of all the conventions in the U.S. Because it's really family friendly.
It is family friendly. I see a lot of folks around here, guys. I'll scan the camera later on. We're going to do about a half hour, so I'll scan it here so I can see. There's a lot going on here. There are 4 floors of exhibitors, right?
Yeah, and this is like 4 floors, and this is just for the exhibitors, and then you've got 4 hotels which has panels and events that just goes on for Thursday, Friday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 4 days. The whole weekend. It's massive.
It's massive, and when he says it's massive, he means it's massive. So bring your walking shoes, okay?
Yeah.
Because all the hotels are roughly about a half a mile to a mile apart, and some of them are uphill. I'm just warning you now. There's some serious walking going on, but it's well worth it. I mean, there are shuttles and buses. It just takes a while for them to get around because the crowds are so big. I know it was Friday. I got in late Friday. It was really busy Saturday. Just to get where we are right now, the building was literally wrapped. The line was literally wrapped around the building. Not only did it wrap around the building, but it actually went through the parking garage. It was at least a mile long. So thank God I knew John is all I can say. Because I wasn't getting in here no other way.
You have this here, and then in the Hyatt, which is a couple blocks away, there they have the art show where we have another booth set up where we promote the Illustrators of the Future contest, and where we have cards, answer people's questions. We had a panel there. 4 of our past winners have booths there at the art show, and then below that is the blood drive, which I just came back from a few hours ago, donating tiny blood this morning at the Robert A. Heinlein blood drive. So that was.
So that's the people. Y'all should get out here and give some blood. There's just so much to do. There's so much to see.
There's tons of stuff. I think it's about 85,000 people a day come through here, and it's just literally there's 500 different exhibitors on the panels and events like that. They've got several thousand panels that they go from. They start at 10 o'clock in the morning and they go all the way to midnight. Every day. Today it's over at 5 o'clock, but it's just amazing how much programming they have.
Look, they got a cool little app that you can get and put on your phone. It shows you all the stuff. It also gives you daily updates on what's changing. There's just a lot. When I say a lot, I'm not even doing justice to it. Each hotel is running multiple events. It's not even like they're one-on-one. The hotels are competing with each other because they're running events. Different hotels are running different events at the same time. So you got to pay attention. And all I can tell you is there's a scheduler on your app. I would go through it and put the stuff in there that you want to see. What's a must-see, because it's easy to get distracted here. It's just a lot to see. Yeah, I know. It is an understatement. And I mean it, people. You'll be like one of the hotels. So the other day I'm sitting cooling off because I've been walking. I was hot, sweaty. I was sitting down drinking some water. And I didn't even realize I was sitting in line for another event, which I guess was one of the first ones there. The line's wrapping out, going down the building again. The guy's telling me all about the event. I'm like, what event? I'm just sitting here drinking water. I said, but you can have my spot when I get up. I said, I'm headed down to the exhibits. And he's like, but she was real happy about it. It's crazy. There's just so much stuff to see. I mean, you could spend the whole time just in the exhibitor section. There's 4 floors, people, to look at. And the crowds are nice. They're heavy, but it's not unreasonable. You can move around. Saturday was a little rough. I mean, getting between the hotels was a serious walk. There was lots and lots and lots of people. So when you were waiting at the light, it was like a herd. On each side, the two herds met as they crossed the street. It's insane. Even the cops were like, Jesus, look at the people out here. So y'all, today's last day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you headed back to LA.
Yeah, we fly back tomorrow, and then we'll be home for a couple of weeks, and then we'll meet you in Salt Lake City for FanX.
FanX. So we're going to be up at FanX, people. If y'all want to come up to Utah, come on up to Utah. I mean, for all our friends that live out west, it's an easy place to get to. Utah's not even expensive to fly into. It's like flying into Atlanta. It's not really bad to fly.
Yeah.
I didn't fly. I drove because I'm on the Gulf Coast right now, so it's only a 5-hour drive. And I'll tell you why. So you know this. If you're leaving out of New Orleans, it's an hour to an hour and a half to get on the plane. Then it's an hour and a half flight. That's 3 hours. And when you get to Atlanta, it's an hour to get off the plane, and then 40 minutes to get here. It's 5 hours. You might as well drive. And it's both ways, so you might as well drive. The Atlanta airport is put together pretty well, but it can get a little messy when it gets real busy. So y'all been doing good, selling some birds?
Yeah, well, yesterday we had, on Saturday rather, we had 7 of our past writers and illustrators and featured winners here, and we cleared off some of the tables. We have a double booth, and we have it set up intentionally so that they can do signings. So we invite them, we got them badges, and set them up here, give them some more experience autographing, and first time at some of these guys the first time at a convention, and this is a serious first convention to attend.
So who all we had? I know I seen 6 of them, but who all we had here signing or Saturday?
Saturday we had Mike Jackson Gumbos, we had M. Dupree, we had Audrey Arthur, we had two more artists. It's scarcely right now, but we also have an art show. We also have for the past winners. We have a booth down there on their way up to
Now, where was the art show?
That's over in the Hyatt. It's a couple blocks away from here. So that one there, you go over there, you take the escalator down 2 flights, and it's a whole side of the Hyatt, which is just amazing artists doing their stuff. And then we had a panel there that talking about illustrations of the future and answering questions that people had. And then we have a booth there as well, which one of our staff is attending to.
So you had you won 2 panels this year?
Yeah.
So what were you talking about?
Well, I had one was on Rise of the Future and how to develop story ideas, and then we also Emily then at the same time had another panel for illustrators on how to survive as an artist today. The business of illustration. And then both of them we also talked about how to enter the Writers of the Future or how to enter the Illustrators of the Future contest. And then yesterday I had another panel. I created a video. One of our judges, Eric Flint, who was the creator of the 1632 series, passed away a few months ago. So I made a special video. I collected photos from all over the country of people that knew him and made this 8.5-minute video which I played. And we had several of his friends come in. Basically, it was a memorial event that we celebrated his life and his legacy as an author. So
y'all will get to see that. He's going to send it to me probably when he gets home, gets settled in.
Yeah.
And I will post it probably later in the week, but I'll let everybody know it'll be up. And, when I get on the air Wednesday, I'll let y'all know. If I didn't know I'd talk to John again, I'll let y'all know.
Right.
And,
well, one thing that was really cool though is at the writer panel, I also posted a never before seen video of the beloved writer and judge Anne McCaffrey. She's the one that created the Dragon Riders of Kern series, and so I played it at the awards event, and then it's now live. So I'll send that also to Joe. So you can see she's an amazing woman. She's the first female to ever win a Hugo Award. She became a judge the 2nd year of the contest. She passed away about half a dozen years or so ago. But we have some great footage of her where she talked about her writing process and what it was like. So that's a great video as well.
Well, I did an interview with his son, Todd McCaffrey, so y'all go check it out. And we talked a lot about Ann. And then Jody, which Jody's last name?
Jody Lynn Nye.
Jody and I actually did an interview with her. We also talked about Ann. So y'all catch both of those interviews. It'll give you, if you're not familiar with who she is, that will help you to understand, and then you'll know what we're talking about. I had no idea the woman is even close to horrific as she was. So I knew her name, but I had no idea until I met John, and then I met Todd, and then I met Jody, and then I actually had a pretty good understanding of who she was. You know, my understanding of just general literacy has gone up 100% since I met John. I mean, I've read a lot about John, but they do things on the up and up and on the straight. It's a little different than what a lot of people are used to. So, again, I say this all the time. If you're an up-and-coming writer, go take the course at Writers of the Future. You can go take the course at writersofthefuture.com. You can take the course here, and it's really good. If you are writing, you can submit. You can submit 4 times a year, people.
Yeah.
So, I know y'all heard some of the characters say, oh, I submitted 14 times. That's not 14 years. That's probably 4 or 5 years, and that's probably what it was. So,
well, we had one winner, though, that submitted 47 times over the course of 20 years. He went through some serious curves,
yes.
ups and downs as a writer, but he finally he persisted. And that's one thing, too, about there's so much encouragement that we try to provide for the aspiring writer and artist that they just keep on persisting, get better and better. And sometimes we have a term called crowing out, that's where you become a professional, so you're no longer qualified into the contest, which is like what happened with Brandon Sanderson, Rob Sawyer, Kevin Anderson, and some of the most popular writers right now, science fiction and fantasy. They're also contest judges for Writers of the Future.
And for the new people, if you think this is hooey or whatever, I would tell you to go see who the judges are. Before you even consider, just go look at the pedigree these judges have. You're going to notice a lot of these judges are very famous. They've got a lot of big movies credits to their name, a lot of big books to their name. So I would just tell you, if you're nervous, go look and just go check them out, and then you know what kind of company you're in.
Yeah, and the thing about this too is that the contest, again, for those who aren't familiar with it, it's judged blindly. So that means that it's a true meritocracy. If you submit, all the judges will see is your story or your art. They have no idea of your name, nationality, sex, religion, anything. It's just straight. The quality of your work is what earns you an honorable mention, a finalist, or an actual win at the very end. So we have winners from all over the world every year, and we have no idea until the judges send in saying, okay, number 255, 364, and then the numbers get transcribed to whoever submitted. Then we know who it is. So if you win, it truly is because you're talented. It has nothing else to do with anything else.
So how many stories get in the book every year?
There's 3 stories per quarter, 4 quarters, so there's 12. Sometimes it depends on how long the stories are, because they can be submitted anywhere up to 17,000 words. So if they're shorter stories, we'll then have time to add finalists. So then we'll publish finalists as well. So like this last year in volume 38, we had 13 stories. In volume 37, we had 14 stories. So it just happens. And then what we do is we have the 12 illustrator winners, and they're assigned one of the winning writer stories to illustrate, and that's what gets published in the book. So it's proven really successful, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. In fact, we're here at DragonCon, and a lot of what we do is as a guest of DragonCon, the CEO, who was just here a few minutes ago.
Just missed him.
Yeah, Pat Henry was our keynote speaker at Writers of the Future about 3 years ago, and he was just so amazed with what the contest does. He then provides space for us at the art show to pass out cards and provide information to aspiring artists to enter the contest, because it's free to enter as well. That's something that's unique. It's free to enter. You win a cash prize if you win. You get published in a book, and the 12 writer winners and 12 artist winners are flown out to Hollywood every year. Expenses paid for a week-long workshop and an amazing awards gala.
It is amazing, guys. I've been there 2 years in a row. I can honestly tell you I've been through both 38, 37, 36, and 35. I've read all four of them. There are great stories in it. I'm not going to say you're going to like every story, but in 38, I actually liked every story. 37, I think I liked about 8 of them. It's going to vary because, I have different tastes. And there's a lot of different stories for a lot of different tastes. And I will tell you this. They manage to tell these stories and keep your attention without sex, drugs, alcohol, cursing. It's all I can tell you. It's like PG-13.
Yeah.
And they do a great job. I mean, all the stories kept my attention, which is a must if you even want to get in. And I'll tell you a little secret because I've talked to some of the judges. If you're going to write these stories, don't start off just blah 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 and leave it. You're not gonna get it. You just if you can't catch their attention the first 1, 2, 3, or 4 pages, you're done. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You need to grab the judge's attention. You got to remember, there's a lot of stories being submitted. A lot. It's not like you're only getting 5 or 6 stories a quarter. They're getting a buttload of stories from all around the world. So when you're writing, think about this. Think about you want to get the judge's attention. And I do know the judges, but it's not going to help me. And it is, by the way, it is blind judge. It's 100% blind judge. I know the judges. I've talked to them. They'll tell you, they get a number assigned to the story, and they read the story, and then they send it back, and then they go through it. I even know who the proofreaders are, but they ain't going to help you out like either. But John has been very gracious. I've met everybody on their staff, both in all the services and the Galaxy Press, and they're a bunch of great people. And it's exactly what they say it is. So if you submit and you win, you're going to be treated to an event. I'm not going to tell you you're not going to work your ass off because you are, but it's well worth it. The first year I sat in with the illustrators. Last year I sat in with the authors almost all the season, and I learned a lot. And I'm not any kind of writer, and I managed to get 12,000 words with it. So if they can do that for me, just think what they can do for God. If you're a good writer, you can be a professional after this. Let me tell you something, guys. It helps having a win from writers in the future behind you. It will help you to get a job. You will be taken more serious as a winner. Matter of fact, there's several people, both illustrators and authors from both years, from actually from all 3 years, that have got jobs now. And this is helping. All I tell you is submit. No, John doesn't read. He reads it after the fact. Right? He's not a judge. He's the boss. He's not the judge. Before he might start sending me weird questions. I would recommend next year come to DragonCon. I would recommend submitting. If you're up and coming and you're new and you're scared, you don't know how to write, you have a great course. It'll help anybody.
Yeah, that's good because it's on writersofthefuture.com. We have the free online writing workshop, which was taught by Orson Scott Card. Orson Scott Card is the guy that wrote Ender's Game. Yep. Tim Powers is the guy that wrote On Stranger Tides, that was made into the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And then Dave Farland, who unfortunately passed away at the beginning of this year, had several New York Times bestsellers. And so they all did individual videos on how to write a story. It doesn't matter what genre it is. This is not just for those who are making the story. And there's about 10 different essays from Owen Hubbard in there that all the judges still said they're as good now as they were when he wrote them in the 1930s and 40s.
And like I said, people, if you're a little nervous, go to the Galaxy
writersofthefuture.com
and look at the judges and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They're a really great group of judges. They all have great credits to their background. These are not new people. These are not beginners. These are people who actually know how to write now. I sat through Tim and Jody's classes last year. They did a great job with the writers. The only one that was, they do one where they give you 24 hours to write a story. It's hilarious because I'm not a writer. Remember, I'm there as media, so I'm watching it. I posted some great pictures. Tim asked me to go around while they were doing it, so everybody was sitting down in the lobby with the lights low and writing their story. So I got really great pictures. Very concentrated, but it's one of the things that you're going to learn how to do. And let me tell you what. If you can post out a story in 24 hours and it's decent, you've got a pretty serious career ahead of you. Yeah. Just don't be scared. Look, if I had the abilities that a lot of writers do, I'd be submitting all the time until I won. You can submit multiple times until you win. You Can't submit though if you're already a published author who's making X amount of dollars. All of that though is on the writers and
Yeah, in the
website.
rules section for Enter the Writing Contest or the rules section of Enter the Illustrating Contest.
And if you're good, your stuff might be featured at DragonCon next year.
That's a
We
fact.
only got one quarter left, right?
Yeah, so the quarter that we're in right now ends September 30th, and that's the last quarter of year 39. So this book then will release next April.
So people, you heard that. Now, it doesn't mean you can't submit later on. It's just not going to be for this year. It's going to be for the following year. There's a lot of work that these people do so y'all can do this. I've been there. It's not like this just they snap their fingers and shit goes together. There's a lot of people involved, and I'll tell you a little secret. I've watched these people hustle non-stop. I've watched John get up at 8 in the morning and work all day until the evening. Because him and I had lunch or breakfast many mornings or afternoons. He's non-stop. Emily never stops. Joey never stops. Nobody who's involved in this ever stops. They even work the hell out of me while it's great job on the video yesterday.
You're very welcome.
And tell them what that video was.
Oh yeah, so I made a video for Eric Flint, and it was like from his childhood, his earliest child pictures, all the way up through actually in the hospital at the end, and all his famous book covers, and I found out what was his favorite music, and I put that in there, and so 8.5 minutes of Eric Flint's memorial to his life, and he's an amazing man and a great friend to so many people. So somebody just came by and thanked me for that, saying it was an amazing video.
That's what you just heard in the background. That's why I had to do it. For everybody else out there, all I can tell you, and look, I know we're talking about authors right now, but it's the same for illustrators. Everything we just said for the authors is the same for the illustrators. Submit your illustrations. You know, I got to say now, I've seen them do this on 3 books. And it's one of the things I really like when they do what do you call it, the reveal. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what they do is they match an author with an illustrator. I find this particularly interesting because it's not exactly easy to take some of these books and do an illustration for them. It takes a lot of things. So, I mean, how do y'all go about that process?
Well, that's what Maliva does. She goes through and she'll look at the type of art that they do, and she'll try to find a similar type of story to the art that will match. Because some people do an anime type of an art, because you can do any type of art to submit it. Yeah. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be Disney art. It doesn't have to be some type of thing.
So real quick, you can go check out Tom Woods' art. What's Echo's last name?
Echo Chernick.
Echo Chernick. You check out her stuff. They've also got, matter of fact, there are interviews with both of them on the website with a lot of their artwork featured. And you'll go check out Echo's because we were having fun. I'm not gonna get into what we were watching, what we were looking at, but you go look at the video, you know what I'm talking about. They're great artists, but that'll give you an idea of the stuff you can submit. And
even in the books, when you see the winners, you're gonna find out that there's all types of art. You got artists who win from all over the world, and so they have their different styles of art that they do, like this. I don't know if it's kind of hard to see. This guy here is he's from South Africa, is the winner there. This one is the.
And on that note, it don't matter where you live.
Annalise from Vietnam. He won that. This guy here is from UK, Dan Watson, and he was the grand prize winner. This is the winning illustration for the year. Who we have here's Seth Nguyen. She's from, I think she's from Korea. So there's all types of different art. This is somebody who put together, this is all types of different art that can be selected. And the thing of it is that you've got, it's illustrations that's got to tell a story, and it's got to be very clever, and it's got to be really good. That's the main thing to just look for, something that's really good for them to say, I like this.
Don't clown around, people, because I know the judges, the illustrators, they're tough. You got to have your stuff together. All I can tell you is submit. You might not win first. You might not even win first 10 times. But, I've talked to winners that won first time all the way to winners that win 37 times. So it's just now. When I say that again, it's not 37 years; it's 37 submissions.
Yeah.
That's 4 a year. But, I mean, don't be scared. Is all I can tell you. Submit, submit, submit. You're gonna, if you're good, you're gonna win, and you don't even know if you can. Wait, it's better than that because some of the stories, some of the artwork, if it's so on a certain scale, you might actually get a letter back with some help, or you might get an honorable mention. Just a lot of other things that goes on here. It's too much to get into detail, but all I can tell you is submit, and you may be surprised. And you don't know. I mean, and on a side piece of advice, and I heard this from both authors and illustrators. Don't show you can show your parents, but don't take their advice. Go see some friends, show it to some people you don't know, because mom and dad's probably going to say it's good anyway it goes. Okay, so I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to help y'all out.
Yeah, we have a forum at writersofthefuture.com that you can join, and there's other aspiring writers and artists who you can team up with, and they can help on as beta readers and as critiques to go over different things that work, don't work. Because when somebody wins the contest who's been part of the forum, everybody takes a win on that.
And I got to tell you, a lot of these, a couple of illustrators actually brought some people from out that winners that are actually working with them now. They're willing to work with the authors and all, even after they're gone. I'm not going to mention any of the people's names who are working with them, but still, I've seen several of the judges actually reach out to authors and illustrators and say, hey, let us kind of help you get along here. But they don't have to do that. And then, and what I was going to say a second ago, and I forgot. It's not really matter where you live because they brought in, 3 people from Australia last year? Well, two from last year, one from the year before, because Christmas from the year before. But they fly you from Australia, people. I mean, that should tell you something right there. All right? They didn't say go pay for your tickets, fly from Australia. They took care of you. So get out there, submit your art. And like I said, you might be here at Dragon Con signing books. And John and Emily and them travel all over and do things like this. So they're putting your name out there for you. I mean, literally, they're doing a lot of the groundwork ahead of time because you've already got your story in the book. Now they're out pushing the books, and so they're actually pushing you for you. All I can say is get involved somewhere or another. These are the people. If you want to be a real author who wants to be a career or a real illustrator, these are the people you need to look at. Everybody I met, both authors and judges, and they're always the same because it's 2 different years and so there's different changes. They're all great people. They're all very patient people. They take their time to work with you. I didn't see any judges get aggravated. I heard some stupid questions asked. And I'm a non-author. I still heard some stupid questions asked. And they were very patient the entire time. Jody and Tim just went out of the way, but Echo and them were the same way. I watched Tom Wood and them. I mean, they were just Larry and them. I mean, they just go out of their way to help you. They spend time with the people. They get to know who you are. And they want to see you succeed. I don't know what else you want, because really, they want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
I want to see you succeed. I want to see you succeed.
Yeah. And the flip side of this thing, too, is if you enjoy science fiction and fantasy, we got some of the best stories you can read with Writers of the Future. And then the judges and the people who win and get published in this book, Writers of the Future, they're already the top names in science fiction and fantasy. The people who are in the book are who they say are the best of the new talent that's coming out there. So if you like Larry Niven, if you like Orson Scott Card, if you like Nnedi Okorafor or any of the judges, then you're pretty certain you're going to like who they select because they pick who they think is good and they've fallen in their own mindset of PG-13 type stuff because they're looking at it for themselves. Like several of them will say, I like to read and I want stuff to read in the future. So that's what they're doing. They're selecting who they're looking forward to reading. You're in a fantasy, you'll have hard science fiction, you'll have adventure science fiction, you'll have dystopian, so all types of stuff, and it's just something that, like I said, if you're a fan of science fiction and fantasy, one, read the books. They're easy to get. You're going to get, stories from the winners, plus you'll get stories from the judges. There'll be one from Owen Hubbard. And then there's usually whatever the cover art is, one of our judges will write a story to match that cover art. So we have volume 36 and 37 that is the same family of characters in the cover because that's when the shutdown was happening for the pandemic. So we had a combined event for 36 and 37. So Jordan and I wrote the stories for volume 36 and 37. So that's what you're there, so you'll get a story also from professional, well-established writers, as well as the winning authors. So it's something that you're guaranteed to get, and then you'll discover that you like some of these guys, and you'll find new authors that you can start reading. I did a podcast interview last week with Ken Liu, who was publishing in 1993. He now just had a story that was turned into a TV series that just launched this year, or launched this month. And I'm inviting him to come on board as a judge. Just amazing storyteller, but you're going to find great stuff to read.
You are. I mean, there's this great material there, guys. I got to be honest. I like it because the stories are shorter. Because I need something that keeps my attention. My attention span's kind of short these days, so it's just nice. By the way, now John just held this book up. That's volume. I'm not gonna tell you what volume it is. For the first probably 5 people that write to me at iCarCox, it doesn't matter if it's right now or later today. So this is not going to publish for a little while. For the first 5 people who write to me, I will send you a copy of this volume. But you got to tell me which volume it was. We can show you again, but it's the first 5 people who write to me. If you tell me what volume, I got some of these at the house. John sent me a couple weeks ago, so I'm giving away. We started doing book giveaway until December 1st. Until January 1st. So, but I'll give 5 of these away. Just write to me at iCarCox. The first 5 people that write to me. Be sure to include your address and a contact number. That way, if there's any problems, we can get them. So. And there's one book underneath there that he's got, but I've only got 2 of those left. So I'll give these 2 away today. But you have to mention Dragon Con when you give me the titles of both books. Okay, so the first 7 people, the 6th and 7th person will get this one, and the first 5 will get Writers of the Future volume. Whatever.
Yep. This one here it's sold nearly 5 million copies. It's one of the best-selling science fiction books of all time, and Joe definitely helps to make sure it continues to be the best-selling book.
Now it's funny because you sent me 2 cases last year. Somehow I don't even know how I found these 2. I kept one for myself. I always keep when he sends me, I always keep one for myself. But I found these 2 in a box, underneath another box, underneath another box. So that's the only reason y'all get these. So you have a 6th and 7th today. Mention Dragon Con, I will send you those. And if you're the first 5, I'll send you. So don't try to. I know it's going to happen now. People are going to want this. You're going to try not to go. You just need to write in. People hope you get in the right spot. That's all I can tell you. I would tell you to come out to Dragon Con. You can see the whole Dragon Con. You get the app, or you go on the website. And they tell you everything that's going on. They do updates because other stuff gets added in or subtracted, but I would look at it. You might not want to be here for all 4 days. You might want to be here for 2 or 1. There's just a lot going on. So really, if you come in, figure out what you want to do and pace yourself. Because I was actually happy it rained yesterday. It was nice and cool for a change. Saturday was hot, Steve. That's all I can tell y'all. And Saturday I was dressed up because I had to go give a lecture Saturday. But be sure to come in and see what we got. And again, submit. I want to see some winners. Look, guys, I want all y'all to win. Because I want to be able to brag and say, "Oh, I met that person." That's when you're famous and rich. And you got to look out there and say,
Remember Uncle Joe.
That's right. Remember, I was nice to you and told you how to deal with these asshole media people. It's speaking of that, I can't remember the name of the company. NBC owns them. I got a gig coming up. We're going to be doing some gigs for them, teaching how to deal with media. They actually picked up a lecture. I copied a lecture I did for John and them this past year. I just kind of improved it a little bit. They picked it up. So y'all will be hearing this. It's just for people who are in the businesses that want to learn how to deal with people like me. I'm actually nice, but I like these people. I can be a real you-know-what when I want to be, and you need to know how to deal with because the media will eat you alive, and they can make or break it. If you can learn how to deal, it's not just learning how to deal, it's also learning how to get hold to them and make connections. And it makes a difference. It will make a difference in your careers. It will make a difference all the way around. So get out there, check those out. Be sure to check on John at Galaxy Press. If you're looking to buy something, anything that you're seeing around here or anywhere, you go to galaxypress.com. Everything they have there is real easy to find, real easy to purchase. A lot of the books are available on Amazon and stuff like that, but Galaxy Press has got some other stuff you need to go look at. Just take your time and peruse, and you got all the L. Ron Hubbard stuff there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything he's ever done, if you're an L. Ron Hubbard fan or not, everything he's done is there. I can tell you this. When I met John, I wasn't a big fan of L. Ron Hubbard. I'm just going to be honest with you. So John started sending me books and just sending me stuff. And I started reading. First off, I started reading about the person before I actually read his sci-fi, which kind of gave me a different view of him. And then I started going through different sci-fi stories. He's just got a lot of stuff. You're not going to be able to read it in a year. It could probably take you a couple of years to go through it all. But there's a lot of good material in there. I'm not going to say you're going to like every story, but I guarantee you that you will like some of the book no matter what. There is something in there for everybody. But the only way you're going to find out is if you read it. And remember, people, it's not like the old days when you buy a book and you're done with it. You can resell the book on Amazon. You can give the book to somebody for Christmas. It's not like the old days. So if you get a book you don't like it, put it on Amazon and it'll sell probably within a day or two. Or give it to somebody in your family as a Christmas present. It's one of the reasons we give away some of these books is so you can give them away as Christmas presents. So just keep that in mind. And I plan on giving away 1,500 books last year, probably 200 or 300 of them with some writers in the future. And we're going to give away at least that many this year or more. And he's already sent us 200 plus books this year, so look forward to it. John, got anything else to tell him?
No, just like I said, if you like science fiction and fantasy, galaxypress.com, you can see all the full lineup. But if you're an aspiring writer or artist, I really recommend that you go to writersofthefuture.com. It was created by L. Ron Hubbard to give that launching pad for the aspiring writer and artist. He himself was one of the most popular writers of the 30s and 40s. That's why a lot of the essays that are on the course were written by him back then. Here at the booth, we've got like 80 different books that he was in the 30s and 40s. He published over 200 stories, and using his own and 15 different pen names. He wrote mystery, adventure, science fiction, fantasy, military fiction, just all types of stuff. So he, probably more than anybody else, was more qualified to create and start this contest that he did in 1983. It's been going strong, and it's now.
And I would challenge y'all. He's got a group of books about himself and some of his essays and other stuff in it. I would, if you don't really know who it is, or you've been listening to the press or whatever, I would challenge you to go read these.
Yeah.
Because you're going to actually get a completely different understanding of who the man is. I just, I'm going to be honest, I had a funky, I only had the understanding of whatever the media was back in the day. After reading about him, the man is a genius. He had a lot going on. He had a lot of different things in his life.
You can go to lronhubbard.org, and that can answer a lot of the stuff that's in the books I've given you, Joe, are also on that website. And it has different vignettes where I think there's a few of them actually have, there's one video in there actually is him talking, but a lot of them are his voice with talent in acting and stuff. It's his voice that you hear talking on these things here on his throughout his life.
And there are some different TV programs out there about him as well. Pretty good ones at that. I'm sure there's going to be something out there you're not going to like. There's a lot of good stuff out there. But, for the people who just don't understand it and say, I don't want to do it because it's L. Ron, no, read about it. You're going to be surprised because I can tell you almost everything I read I didn't know. I'm not even going to lie to you. All I can tell you is what I went by mainstream ABC, CBS, and they're really not telling you who the man is. Maybe 40 years ago they might be, but today they're not. So I would just tell you to go read, learn who he is. It's going to make you want to read his stories more. I also like that they keep a lot of the old retro artwork on the stories. I really enjoy that part of it. I really do. I think a lot of y'all also are going to enjoy it. So just go read them. And you'll find out that maybe you were just misjudging somebody. So that's all I can tell you. I had a whole different idea about all of this until I met John. John will tell you, I was a real ass 2 weeks ago. I was like, no, I'm not believing you, John. I gave John trouble for 3 years. He took the time to make sure I understood that everything was enough and up and legit. I just tell you to get out there, people, and pay attention, write, submit, take the courses, read the books, and you know what? If you read a lot of L. Ron Hubbard's writings and you take the course in Galaxy Press, the Writers of the Future, I think you might have a better understanding. You might actually really get something written. Just write it. All you got to do is write it and submit it. And if it's okay, you might get something back saying, hey, why don't you try this, or that, or you might just get a thing, try again, submit again. You're not going to get any horrible thing. They're not going to make fun of you. You know what? They don't even make fun of you behind closed doors, because I was talking to 3 of the judges, and they were like, no, they just read the story. I'd have been picking on y'all, so they're already dead. I said, really? Why do they send this crap in? See, they don't do that. They're actually quite nice, but very professional. There's a lot of interesting, and that's another on the side note. If you can win, there are a very interesting group of people you will get to meet, including you'll get a tour of author services. I can move in that place. Okay? I can just find this by the couch, park it by the machine, the coffee machine. I'd be happy. But it's a beautiful place to start off with. There's a lot of stuff in there. All the L. Ron stuff's in there. There's a lot of material in there you can look at. It really gives you an idea of who and what this person is. And remember, he's the man that submitted this. He's the man that created this. Without L. Ron, none of this would exist. None of these writers and illustrators would get a chance like this. And I got to be honest, so far I've talked to 3 years worth of winners, and they all really appreciate that they got this shot. I have not met, I'm not going to say there's never going to be anybody negative. I'm sure there's always going to be 1 or 2 negative people, but I personally didn't meet any negative people at this time. And I've interviewed 75% of the winners and all but 1 judge. Let's go ahead and call it the 10 powers. But all I can tell you is be appreciated they did it. Be appreciated that John didn't keep it running and keep it going. And submit. And they'll help you to get ahead. They want you don't understand, people. They want to see you win. Yeah. They want to see you make it. It's a credit to you. It's a credit to them. So get out there and do it. If not, I'll just harass you. So you know how to get it. Oh, and by the way, I haven't seen the winners of the podcast awards yet. Y'all better get out there and vote for us. John's got to show up. I got to show up. I got 2 shows.
And I got my show's got 2 categories.
John's in 2 categories. I got 2 shows. Go vote. Out of all the shows of the network, him and I are the only ones that. Girls will like that, by the way. John and I are the only ones that made it to the finals. The outer realm crowd was not happy. Michelle said, I'm going to have to start putting him on a slow day. Michelle, and if y'all know who Michelle DeRoche is, she's the station manager and the owner of the Outer Realm, the Canada's Most Haunted. She's a very interesting character, to say the least. So y'all be sure to check her out. But we're going to get out of here. I still got a couple things to do at Dragon Con. People come out next year. We'll all be here next year. You can see us. Oh, by the way, again, FanX, John and I and Emily and a bunch of the Writers of the Future crowd will be at FanX, and I'll be up there harassing and just harassing people in general.
Which you do best.
Yes, I do. I'm good at it. So, on that note, guys and girls, I don't know who's coming up next because it is Monday. So, y'all probably are not going to hear the regular lineup today because it is Memorial Day. Not Memorial Day, Labor Day. And so I'm not sure what the lineup is because I'm not in the studio. I'm actually in Atlanta. So, keep your fingers crossed. I know Trish is on. I'm pretty sure John's still going to air because it was setting the thing automatically. But everybody else, I couldn't tell you. I'll have to just tune in the station and find out. On that note, good night, good day, have some fun, and hopefully we'll see y'all next year. And don't forget, submit to SNP, writersofthefuture.com.